Since I was a kid growing up at the height of the Cold War, I've been fascinated by the deepest, darkest secrets of our government. What weren't they telling us? Some people believe there's a huge government secret hiding right beneath our feet. An entire network of military bases and top secret facilities under the ground. But is there any evidence of this massive subterranean layer?
Is something going on down there that we don't know about?
Absolutely.
We know that the military started moving underground during the Cold War, back in the 50s and 60s.
That's the end of the world right there.
And rumors that started in 1955 about an underground base called Area 51 were only confirmed by the FBI in 2013.
This is intense.
But some suspicious line items in the military budget.
There's about $50 billion for classified programs.
And even more suspicious patents that were purchased by the federal government.
They're using heat to tunnel through and melt rock. Oh, man! This is science fiction to me.
Could indicate that there's way more happening beneath the surface than we ever imagined.
Patrolled by military dog teams. That is top secret stuff.
So I'm headed deep into the underworld.
Go, go, go!
To see what I can find out.
The Eagle has landed. And this is just the beginning. I used to go to grade school, and just like fire drills, we would do duck and cover drills, which were for nuclear attack, which was ridiculous when you consider the fact that no way is anybody surviving this thing, much less 8-year-olds with their jackets over their heads in the basement. But those are the kinds of things that were part of life in the 50s and the 60s. The imminence of nuclear holocaust is much less a daily thought on the average American's mind today than it was when I was young.
The Cold War is long over, but some declassified relics from that era may show that the nuclear threat from Russia was just the beginning of a secret underground that only top-level officials in the government know about. Usually, when I go into the underworld, I'm rappelling into murky caves or squeezing through tight crevices in some ancient ruin. But this is going to be different. An underground world built in secrecy with high-level military technology. And I couldn't be more excited. My first stop is in the Arizona desert, at one of the many decommissioned Titan II missile sites that exist across the country.
Wow, it smells like a military base, doesn't it?
Yes.
These missile silos were underground structures built during the Cold War, constructed to house an arsenal of nuclear warheads to deter the Russian threat. And it was all done in total secrecy.
Wow. This is intense. How far underground are we at this point?
We're 35 feet.
Wow. You worked in this silo.
Yes, during the height of the Cold War.
What was that like? What did that feel like?
It was boring and scary at the same time, and had the weight of the world on your shoulders.
You were aware of that feeling.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
David Haratunian was a Titan II ballistic missile analyst during the Cold War. His job was to wait for this phone to ring, and if it did, he'd put this key into this switch and launch a nuclear attack. And if it happened, it would have all taken less than 60 seconds. How crazy is that?
So your day of work was to make sure that this thing was up and ready to go.
State of readiness, 24
Okay.
hours a day. You thought you could launch at any moment. But the thing that was most upsetting about it was if we had the launch order, we knew an attack was coming, and we knew that all our loved ones would die.
The Titan II was built in 1961, when a telephone looked like this, a television looked like this, and a baby's car seat looked something like this. And yet, this secret underground facility had some insanely cool technology.
So this is the long cableway.
Ooh, that's amazing.
This thing is built to be like a slinky, so we can move up and down, side to side. We had to be protected from the shock wave. It's going to be like the world's worst earthquake if a nuclear detonation went off up there.
Right.
And it's a cableway because it's all the cables going from the control center to the missile.
The cableway is a massive version of the shocks in your car, designed to protect this entire underground base from any nuclear explosions above.
So you're down there 200 and some feet away from the rocket, which is up here.
This is the silo, and this is the launch tube, and the missile sits in the launch tubes, protected by that extremely heavy door.
Man, that's hard. Door, push. Oh, my Lord. Look at that. That's crazy. Incredible. Wow. There you go. So give me some read on what I'm looking at here.
It's 103 feet tall. It weighs 330,000 pounds fully loaded. It has 430,000 pounds of thrust, which is equivalent to two 747s at full throttle.
Wow. How fast does it take for this to get to its target in the Soviet?
About 30 minutes. It's going to go about 17,000 miles an hour.
Wow.
To put into perspective how ridiculously fast this Titan missile was, the commercial airplanes we fly in today, they go around 570 miles per hour top speed. So this nuclear missile flies about 30 times faster.
And what is the actual bomb?
It's a 9 megaton bomb, which is equivalent to 9 million tons of TNT.
How does that compare to Hiroshima?
It's 600 times more powerful than Hiroshima.
Unbelievable.
And how many facilities with this nuclear missile were ready to go on a single phone call?
54.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
So in the case of nuclear attack, 54 Titan II missiles all lift off basically at the same time.
Only totally retaliatory, not a first strike weapon. If the Soviet Union launched against us, this was the deterrent. Mutually assured destruction. The 54 Titans were going to wipe out 54 of their cities or military bases.
Yeah, that's where it just enters into a whole nother realm. I mean, it's just hard to conceive of that much destruction. And today, even more so.
Today more so, there's more of them, and they're more accurate.
Wow. So we're at the top of the missile. How far down is the bottom?
The bottom's 146 feet down.
Wow. That's insane.
This is where the engines would sit.
Man, and that's the end of the world right there.
This once top secret underground base was built in 1960. And the public had no idea that we had 54 weapons of mass destruction hidden deep below ground until 30 years later. So what else could our government be hiding today?